Hey guys, today we're here with the new challenge that I think I created, unless someone else did it first, called the Occult Takeover Challenge. And so I'll introduce you to the sims we'll be using, but first, let me explain. So basically the Occult Takeover Challenge, so in Create a Sim you need to make one of every occult sim that you're able to do. So for my game currently, I can make an alien, a vampire, a mermaid, and a spellcaster. And so basically, I'll get into my story a little bit later, but these sims, however you want to decide how to do it, but they all came together. All the different occult sims are like, we are going to take over this town. There's too many normies, muggles, if you will, and we are going to take over. And by doing that, so you do that by getting 10 other sims pregnant with your child. So if you want to, you can decide to have the children yourself, but for me personally, I'm deciding to getting other random sims pregnant. So it could be townies or just randoms, whoever you want to do. And you have to get, for each occult sim, you have to get 10 other sims pregnant. So you can basically kind of infect yourself within the town and cause more aliens, vampires, mermaids, spellcasters, whatever to be born. And then preferably another thing we have to do is that they at least need to max out their occult sims. So, like spellcasters need to be the highest rank. Or I haven't played with vampires for a while, but I think there's like a vampire level as well. I'm a little unsure. Or they need to master some skills. So I'll write a better rule set and I'll put it in the description below, but that is basically my general idea for this challenge. So let me get into the sims that we'll be playing with this time. So the first sim we're going to be talking about today is over here, Mr. John Smith. You might be like, that sounds like a really boring name. And it is, because that's the first boring name that he thought would help him blend in when Mr. John Smith came to Sim Earth, apparently. From the planet he's from, it's a name that we could never even think to comprehend. And he doesn't really want a lot of people to know that he's a vampire, but he doesn't really want a lot of people to know that he's an alien. So that's why most of the time he's in his normal form, which truthfully is the reason that I didn't care too much about his alien form. And for my story, I'm just gonna say that this is what on his planet that he's originally from is cool. So I'm not even gonna go time to show you his outfits, because it doesn't even matter when he's in alien form, because he's rarely gonna be in it. Because I like him better like this anyway. Actually, I like him better as himself, but this is himself, just part 2. Part 2 of himself. So Mr. John Smith, we'll get into his traits and likes and aspirations in a second, but first I just want to show you his outfits. Blah. So, and I'll kind of tell you about his motivation. The reason he wants to take over the world, or at least the Sim Earth, and kind of infest it with more aliens, is because he's just curious. He doesn't really have like a big reason. This was just offered to him by Marceline, which we'll get to in a second, and he was like, sure. He just kind of wants to explore sim nature, or human nature, if you will. That's pretty the reason why he got here. And he's doing his best, but as you can kind of see from his outfits, there's just a little something a bit off. And it's not that he tries to look a bit off, he just doesn't really understand sim social norms, but he truly is trying his best. He doesn't have ill will, he just doesn't really care about people, he's just more curious about people. If there was a curious trait, I would have gave it to him, but sadly, there's not a curious trait for human sims, or people sims, even though he's technically an alien, but you know what I'm saying. But no, as you can kind of see, I'll show you a close-up in a second, but he likes wearing a lot of blue, and that's because his actual skin tone is blue, and that's how he feels most comfortable with himself. As you can kind of see from his eyebrows, there's some blue popping out, but that's because his disguise isn't all the best, because he isn't the best, smartest alien out there. He just wants to mess around and have fun. So give me 1 second, let me go back to his everyday wear, and I'll show you his little blue spots. They're kind of hard to see because he's kind of there, but it can kind of show more through some outfits. But if you're wondering why is there random dots there, that's the reason why. And so now let me get into showing you his traits and aspirations and likes and dislikes. Give it a second to load. Oh, I just pressed the wrong thing. That was me. I'm sorry. Okay, here he is. So his personality, for this part of the challenge, I forgot to mention earlier, I apologize, each one of your Sims have to have at least one trait that you consider to be a negative trait. Right. And his traits are goofball, which isn't the negative one. I just felt like I had to do. He's a silly dude. He just kind of wants to have fun and vibe. And his other non-negative trait is adventurous. That's kind of the best alternative I found to curious. He just wants to explore, have fun, try out these new human things, because Sim Earth is nothing like the planet he's from. But his negative trait is erratic. It's not necessarily evil trait, but he's just kind of all over the place. He's in a completely new situation. It happens, and he's just kind of a weirdo, which, no hate, just stated. And there's not really an alien aspiration, so I decided to go with the extreme sports enthusiast, because I like the Snowy Adventure world. Snowy Adventure, is that what it's called? Yeah, and I like to mess around with it, and I feel like because he's adventurous, he would want, this would be the closest thing to him. And for his likes and dislikes, his favorite colors is green, blue. He's green, he's blue. He likes classical music and world music. He does not like piano. He's good at quite a few things, but he's horrible at music. That's another one of his quirks. He's good at handiness. So basically all of the musical things he does not like. He's good at robotics. I kind of want him to mess around with the robotics career. Rock climbing, he's adventurous. Rocket science, he's an alien. He has to be good at rockets, kind of, if he's on Earth when he's not originally from here. And decor, I don't really care about giving him decor's likes and dislikes, because whatever, but he likes suburban and contemporary and garden, because he likes it outside. And that is Mr. John Smith. And the next thing we're going to be playing with is Marceline. She's a vampire, and yes, she is named for Marceline from Adventure Time. I apologize, I am not very creative, but she is kind of the mastermind behind this whole story thing. Well, let me get into her. I'll be showing you her outfits now. But she's the one that she kind of got all these ragtag group of teams together, and she wants to take over the world. I'll get into her traits in a second, but she is kind of power hungry. She wants to take over the world. And I apologize because she has a lot of the clothes and stuff from Realm of Magic. But I feel like a lot of the Realm of Magic stuff suits her more than the vampire stuff. My apologies, I don't know why I couldn't speak there. And you can also see here in a second that she has a cool tattoo. But no, I tried to give her some vampire stuff because I feel like I should, because she's a vampire, but overall, I don't think it suits her very well. This is her cool evil tattoo. It's the scariest one I guess I could find. As you can see, she likes to wear a lot of red. Vampires, red, blood, you know the drill. She's very pretty. I really like Marceline. She has really cool hair. That's when you know how you click a new sim, that's the hair that they gave her when I randomized it. And I was like, you know what, game? I feel like it's a sign. So I picked that one. And let me get into show you her dark form. I don't really play with vampires a lot, so I'm excited to play with another one. But I apologize preemptively if I suck at it. And yes, when she turns to her dark form, her hair dye does go away, but this is her dark form. I just wanted to give her a high bun look, and this is what she got. So let me go back to her regular form, and then I'll tell you her traits and aspirations and likes and dislikes. It is loading. I'll give her a better view of her. So she wants to be the master vampire. As you were kind of saying, she's very power hungry. She just wants to be all that. She's evil. That is her negative trait. I don't feel like I have to explain why evil is a negative trait, but she's just a bad person. She's not the good guy here. She just wants to take over the world. Power hungry, ambitious, but she does have a soft spots for cats, which is something that I agree with. And I'm not starting them off as a cat, but eventually I would like to give them all a cat, but we'll see. She likes the color black and red. She likes a lot of... She's kind of a basic vampire besides her clothes. She likes alternative music, hates romance music, hates tween pop, likes spooky music. Her activities, she likes the pipe organ. I don't know. She does not like to cook. She likes to be taken care of. She likes mischief and mixology. Does not like video games, apparently, either. Sorry, love, you're in a video game. And she likes the gothic farmhouse decor. She likes the interior design of vampire aesthetic, but she's not, like, dressing like a vampire, if you get what I'm saying. But no, she just wants to take over the world. And you know what? Good for her. She's very beautiful. She was a lot of fun to create. And she doesn't want everyone to know she's a vampire, but when she's in her dark form, she does not care. Hence why when she's in her dark form, you can see her ears, but when she's in like her quote-unquote regular form, she isn't. She's not necessarily ashamed of it. She just knows it's harder to control people when people know you're a vampire, if you know what I'm saying. She's a scary lady, and I would not mess with her. And here's our next sim. This is our mermaid sim. Her name is Gaia Will, like Mother Earth. She's from the ocean, the earth. You know how it is. She's literally just so freaking pretty. I could fangirl about Gaia all day. She's probably one of my favorite sims that I have for this challenge. Well, honestly, I like all of them in their own way. I've already gone an emotional attachment, even though I've only seen them in a creative sim. But no, I feel like she's very feminine. She's very athletic too, so I tried to give her either more feminine outfits or more kind of, I think it's called athleisure wear, so you can kind of see that within a mix of hers. She is a mermaid sim, and we'll get into her traits in a second, but the reason she's trying to take over the world is not necessarily because, like, sorry, I'm spinning her so fast. Is not necessarily like Marceline, where she's like an evil person. She just thinks the more people in the world that are mermaids, the better the world will be taken care of. Her trait is childish. She's immature. She doesn't really understand that there's always going to be bad people in the world. But she's doing her best. And you know what? I love it for her. I know the swimwear is ugly, but ignore it. She's a mermaid, so we won't even see it anyway. Here's her hot weather wear. I really like a lot of the stuff from I Am Living, so I definitely tried to incorporate a lot into her outfit because she's a mermaid, you know. But no, I'm very excited, and let me show you her last outfit, and then we'll get started into her traits and things. But no, she kind of just got roped along for the adventure. She was kind of manipulated. She was just Marceline was just kind of like, if you do this, more mermaids, what you care about will be more prioritized. And she was like, oh, okay. Her traits are child of the ocean. She's a mermaid. I feel like that's an obvious choice. She cares about the world. Her negative trait is childish. She's immature, and she's a vegetarian. She cares about all life forms. You know, she's a very kind person. If there was another trait, I would give her the good trait, but luckily not, because then her and Marceline would never get along. Her trait, I just gave her beach life, because she's a mermaid. It's you know how it be. The color she likes is yellow and orange and blue. She enjoys kids radio, island music, summer strut. She's a mermaid. She's childish. She likes to sing. She likes to cook, bake, garden. She does not like fishing. She thinks it's horrible, which is going to be very awkward because one of our other sims likes fishing. Storybook. I am comfortable if we get into some drama in this series, and I feel like you're about to see that. And I apologize, I did not show off her mermaid form, which I will show off now, if it will load. Hello? Oh, there we are. I decided to give her the classic green mermaid tail with all the pretty sparkles because I feel like she would like it. And I gave her this top because she likes the color orange. I didn't mean just zoom into her boobs there, but she likes the color orange, and I just always like this top. I think it looks good on everyone. And yeah, that is Gaia, and then we'll get back into our last sim in just one moment. And our last sim we have for today, his name is Jackie Wicks. Yes, he is our spellcaster. Yes, he is who you think he's gonna be, with those pierced ears and that eyebrow piercing. Let's get into his outfits, and then we'll talk about it. Here is his everyday wear. So before we get into his personality, I should just say, I know his outfits aren't the cutest, and I can't even give a quirky reason like John. He just, in my head canon, he just really isn't that stylish of a person. He thinks he is, but he really isn't. He's trying his best. Well, not really. He doesn't care about anything. We'll get to his traits in a second. that might explain it a bit more, but the reason he wants to take over there is pretty simple. He doesn't care about taking over the world or making more spellcasters or making things better for spellcaster kind. He just want to do what you do to get people pregnant. Do you know what I'm saying? Is that PG enough? That's why. He doesn't care about taking over the world. He is just a F-boy. And when Marceline came up to him and was like, hey, this great idea to take over the world, let's get all these normal Sims pregnant, and he was like, perfect. This is right up my alley. And he was like, yeah, spellcaster kind. But he doesn't care. Ignore those ugly shoes. Those were an accident, but I don't have the energy to take them off, so he's stuck with it. And I'm sorry about that. But I am sorry, but I'm not going to apologize. I'm just lazy. But those are pretty much his outfits. Is there any other notable things I could say about him before I get to his traits? He was fun, and I feel like I tried to not give any of my Sims the flirty trait for this challenge, because I feel like that might make things too easy. But if there was a flirty trait, I would give it to him. But if you decide to play it, you don't have to pimp yourself out like that, but that's just what I personally wanted to do. So since he's a spellcaster, he does not have an alternate form, so let's get right into his traits and dislikes and aspirations. So his aspiration is spellcraft and sorcery, so it's just like a spellcaster aspiration. It's nothing too special. He's a bro, because he's an F-boy, so he's like, to other bros. I don't play with this trait often, so I'm excited to re-experience a bro hug. He loves the outdoors. He's really close with nature. You can kind of see it. I feel like him and Gaia are going to get along in this way. Yep. And he's non-committal. That's his negative trait. Kind of get into it. He's an F-boy. He doesn't care about anyone or anything. All he cares about is himself and his own pleasure and fun. So, his likes and dislikes. He likes the color green, gray, brown. You can kind of see that through his outfits. He likes more of a neutral, natural kind of tones. You know what I'm trying to say? He likes electronica music because I just hit a can at him liking that kind of music. He likes blues and alternatives. Also romance music. His activities he likes to do is he hates baking. He can't take care of himself. He thinks he's funny. He's not. He likes to fish, which Gaia is not going to be happy about. He likes fitness. He likes gardening. He likes handiness. He's kind of a man's man. I'd put him as not liking research and debate because I feel like he thinks he's really smart, but he doesn't take any time to actually look anything up. And I put he not like video games because I couldn't think of anything else, but the story reason is because they're that's for nerds. I don't know. I don't see him as a classic jock stereotype, but you know the type. He plays the guitar. You know who I'm talking about, but either way, he's very pretty. Like Gaia, I feel like they're not too worried about people knowing that they are occult Sims, they're a mermaid and a spellcaster, because I feel like when you're those things, you don't have to be as worried about it. I feel like vampires and aliens would have a big bad stigma, but spellcasters, people just think they're cool, myself included. But no, I really think I love all my Sims, but I think he's really pretty too. He's probably my favorite. I can't say that. He's not my favorite, but I think he has a really pretty nose. His facial structure, I had the most fun shaping him up. But yeah, those are my Sims. This is going to be the end of this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me who's your favorite Sims. Tell us what you want to do. Tell me if you want to play this challenge. I appreciate you, and I hope you enjoyed seeing all of them, because they'll enjoy seeing all of you in the next video, okay? Emotional manipulation. Have a good day and enjoy, okay? Bye-bye.